What is up, everyone? Can you guys hear me? Put a yes in the chat if you guys could hear me. We're gonna get started in a second. Just let me know if you guys can hear me and you're ready to rock and roll. Welcome to the second episode of the Hackathon News Network. I'm your host, Jelani, coming to you live from the world's largest hackathon. We're gonna have so much fun today. The Hackathon News, if you're not sure, if you're not familiar with that is, the Hackathon News Network is the official place to come and learn everything that's going on the largest hackathon on the planet, of course, sponsored by Bolt. We got a lot of yeses in here. I can hear you. I can hear you. Awesome. Okay, let's do this thing. So I've been seeing so many cool projects that you guys have been posting, and Bolt wants to highlight those projects. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to highlight some really awesome projects that have been kind of been honestly posted on X, and obviously we got the intention of the Bolt team and myself as well. So we're going to highlight 3 members of the hackathon. But before we do, real quick, I just want to update on some cool stats. It's been honestly amazing to see Bolt grow this from 0. We have over 108,000 registered participants, which is absolutely insane, and it's climbing every single day. Also, quick trivia, I don't know if you guys knew this, but the largest hackathon before this one, I believe only had 66,000 people. So we officially have crossed that. It's pretty crazy that we have over 100,000 people who have entered the hackathon. There have been over 1,000 projects that have already been submitted, and 7 million, let me say that again, 7 million site visits to date to the hackathon website, and 58,000 people have joined the Discord, the Bolt Discord, which is crazy. But it makes sense because Bolt is the #1 and premier app to build apps using AI and natural language. And before Bolt, it was really hard to do something like this. So it makes sense that we have such hype and so many people who are excited. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring on our first guest. He's going to talk about his project, and then we'll have some later updates as well, just some teasers on what's happening next week, and also just some of the cool things that you can look forward to. So with that said, I'm going to bring on the first guest. Eric, what's up, man? If you can come to the stage, how are you?
Hey Jay, so nice to be here. I'm fine. What about you?
I'm good. Where are you calling in from?
Well, right now I'm in the south of Portugal. It's a city called Albufeira. I was currently doing a road trip, but I'm originally from Paris, France, normally.
Nice, nice. I love Portugal. Portugal is beautiful. Did you go to Portugal because of like the nomad lifestyle?
I've been like traveling all around the world for 1 year,
Yeah.
building as a freelance and building like side projects for myself.
Mm.
And I just fall in love of Portugal, so I came here like 4 times in 1 year, and,
Yeah.
and now I'm doing like a road trip around the country, so I
Yeah.
can
Yeah.
definitely recommend this part of the world.
Nice, nice, nice. Yeah, Portugal is beautiful. So, thank you so much for joining us, and we're happy to kind of highlight your project. It's a really cool project. So, um, just to beginning, I guess, like, how did you even hear about Bolt and like the hackathon? Like, I heard about Bolt from Twitter, but I'm curious to know how you heard about Bolt as well.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. To be honest, like I was hearing about Bolt Hackathon from everywhere, and I was like, it was mind blowing, like all the new stuff, like the access to 11 Labs API. I discovered Tavis AI also thanks to Bolt Hackathon. And, like I really wanted to dig into Bolt's products because to be honest, like I just tried a few times before, and like it was the best opportunity. And also because in 2025 I'm building different products, and like it was the best moment, like for me, like it was obvious to participate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you have a dev background, or it was just like you like coding, AI coding, vibe coding?
Yeah, I've been coding since I'm 12, but
Nice.
it's kind of like my family and people around me pushing me to do like classic studies. So I did a business school, and then I was doing like consultancy bullshit job. And during the COVID, I had an existential crisis, and I realized that I had to quit this job and to do what I like in my life, like that is to say coding, building cool stuff, and traveling.
Nice. So what are you building in Bolt? Like what project are you building right now?
So I started by like thinking about the idea, like the problem, the pain points that I want to address. I started like to be interested in like HR, and to be honest, I really wanted to build something with Tavis API, like to clone myself or to building like a HR assistant that will do like the first interviews. But then I interviewed like three HR experts. I recorded that. I shared that like kind of vlog on X, saying like what I'm doing, and all the guys said like this is a brilliant idea, but it's way too early to do that. Like
Mm,
maybe it'd be good to do that in like 5 years, but for now the HR like industry will is not ready for that. And like I was a bit disappointed because I really wanted to try Tavis. I will do it anyway,
mm,
but then I decided to shift, and I've been like working with Lisa that I met on X, and she's like a UX UI designer, and we have been like ideating, and she has a kid, and so we were thinking about how can we create something that could be useful for like early parents, and then came up the idea of like a story kid generator, like where like the kid can be the hero of a story, because
mm,
parents sometimes they are tired, they go back home, they don't exactly like they don't exactly know how to what story to give to their children when they go to sleep.
mm,
And also, what is super interesting in this project is that you can solve problems of your kid. For instance, like if he is frightened to go to sleep during the night, you can create like a story about the Pokemon not being afraid of going to sleep during the night. And we've been like checking on psychological studies saying that like the stories are definitely shaping the kid. Like it's so important, like so we are digging into that. um, Lisa has done amazing work on Figma designing the app, and now I'm like just coding the app. And there's so many things to do, like with the OpenAI image generation, with View 3, we could like imagine like generating full stories in video or on images, continue the story where the kids are the heroes. So yeah, we are on.
nice. Nice, nice, nice. So you basically brought on someone to help with the design and you take care of coding. So what was like your biggest aha moment when you were building with Bolt?
Um, like it was when like we started iterating and trying to generate stories. It was not exactly with bots, but more with like the prompt engineering on how to make like the best stories out of the idea, and we saw the potential on that. I started like designing the like implementing the design on the app. So the aha moments on boards is that, like, to be honest, I did that in like 2 hours. It was so easy and fast to implement. I just had to export like the Figma frame to give it to boards, and like to give the images, and it was like just recreating that. So all the front end development is done like in few hours. It's so fast, so it's
Yeah.
great. Now I will start implementing like the backend stuff and so on.
Nice, nice, nice. Can we give it a little demo here? We got it on the screen here, so I kind of want to see this because I like this idea.
Yeah, sure. So here is like the dashboard. We wanted to make it very easy to do. Like you can select a team or you can create your own team, and then you can select your hero. Basically, like it will be your kids, but you can have your two kids in the hero story, and then you can generate a story. So we also want to be able to enable people to continue the story or to recreate a story and to generate images or video based on the story.
Mm,
So it becomes like a souvenir where your kid is like the hero. Um, yeah, like there's so many features that we could implement, like the audio reading, things like that.
mm,
um, and here there's the hero part where you can like create your hero. For instance, we can put like John, he's 10, and then you can give him superpower like flying, uh, talking to animals, invisibility, and then you create your hero.
mm.
And here are your stories, work in progress. And I'll implement also the multilingual stuff because it's super easy. And I think
That's
like
awesome.
the app can be ready maybe in 1 week. Because we use Expogo, it will be live on App Store on Google Play.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
for
That was
the
good.
yeah, and for the pricing, we will obviously use Revenue Cat, and we will give a 7-day trial because like story generation is not very expensive, so it's okay.
Nice. So you used Expo. How was that experience with Bolt building this app in Bolt with Expo?
Super easy. Like there's a button when you build on Bolt. Will build an app with Expo. So you click on that, and basically it's create all the like it install the dependencies related to Expo. So quite easy. Now I want to know like how easy it is to implement Revenue Cat.
Hmm.
I'll see in few hours or a few days.
Nice, nice. But the point is, you were able to build something within like a few hours, and you have a working prototype that could then be tested and essentially used by parents, which is awesome. So congratulations. This is a really awesome idea. I think a lot of parents
Thanks so
would
much, Jay.
want to use something like this.
Sorry, man.
I just said I think a lot of parents would use something like this just to inspire their kids and inject their kids in a story. I think it's really, really cool.
Yeah, thanks so much, man.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
yeah, yeah. So, one final question. Where can people follow you or support your project?
Sure. I'm very active on X, basically publishing every day my progress, recording myself with my Osmo Pocket 3, giving advices. So my X account is like Eric Jave or Eric Javid, like
Mm,
my family name.
mm,
You can find me, yeah, pretty much here. That's where I'm the most
sweet.
active. I'm also hacking LinkedIn if you wanna see, but I prefer X network, right?
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Eric, for joining us and showing your project. I think it's a really awesome idea, so keep going with it. And yeah, we'll definitely see you around on X. Everyone go check out Eric on X, and we're gonna bring on the next
Thanks so
guest,
much.
Eve.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
Thanks to the ball team. Thanks for all the work you do, and see you very soon. Bye.
All right. See ya. Bye bye. Awesome. Thank you so much. That was awesome. We have another guest, Eve, who's going to be joining us right now. Hi, Eve. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Where are you calling in from?
I'm from New York City.
Oh, wow. Awesome. I'm originally from New Jersey, so I'm right, very close to New York.
Nice.
It's awesome that there's so many people around around the world just joining in and obviously participating in the hackathon. So I'm curious to know who you are. Are you a developer, or are you just someone who really enjoys taking your ideas and using Bolt to bring them to life? Let's start there, then we can talk more about your project.
Awesome. Yeah. So I recently quit my job to go full time on starting my own startup with my co founder.
Mm,
And I've been working on Playmix.ai for about 2 months, and it's for vibe creating games. So I'm really into vibe coding. It's very relevant, related to Bolt and stuff like that. Before that, I was an early hire and head of product at an ed tech company. And so my background is product, I guess, but I've never really fit perfectly into one role exactly. I've never been like a software engineer as a job before, though.
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. But that, I mean, honestly, I've talked to so many people who are have a very similar story as you, where they have worked in product or they understand product, but they haven't had the ability to build until vibe coding kind of came along. So you're not alone. I'm one of those people as well. So can you just tell us about like your project and what inspired it?
Yeah. So the main app I've been working on is called Vibe Test, and it's really to help vibe coders test their vibe coded app.
Mm,
The reason I started working on it is because I interviewed dozens of vibe coders, and the ones who were really successfully launching products were actually spending only like 20% of the time building and like 80% of the time testing.
mm,
And there's also like, as you vibe code, there's always these like sort of unexpected things that happen. Sometimes you don't test it super methodically, and randomly, sort of 5 changes later, you realize the AI broke something in your app. So people sometimes get stuck at that 80% mark and don't end up launching. So I was just thinking there has to be a better way. There has to be a way to sort of test and make that more efficient so that you don't run into those issues when you're vibe coding. So Vibe Test is sort of created to automatically record and replay a grid of sort of test videos that auto update to the latest version of your code every time you make a change.
mm.
So that helps you just sort of glance across a grid of video replays of your tests so that you're always coding from a solid foundation.
Wow, that is really, really cool. And I honestly, I experienced that as well. It's like the testing aspect of vibe coding becomes difficult, especially if you're just building, 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 you're not testing, that something breaks and you're not sure what broke. So if you have something like this is actually really, really useful and beneficial for the vibe coders out there. I would love to just see how it works if you're able to show us.
Yeah, definitely. So there were a bunch of different things that I ran into when creating it, but I ended up creating a version where you can just embed a little snippet of code into your app, and that enables vibe testing. And so I'm going to just show you this other app that I created called
Mm,
Meow Piano. It's a little bit of a silly app, but I'm using that for sort of testing this app. And I already embedded the code in there, but Meow Piano is one that I'm using for the sort of one prompt challenge for Bolt.
mhm, mhm.
So I'm adding the link to that app in here, and it's going to load the app. And I'm just going to go ahead and test it. It's a little bit silly. So as I did that, it automatically recorded this sort of test replay, and I'll pause it here, and I can use this little video preview to sort of decide which portion of the test I want to create and add that test to my video replays. And then it sort of replays those on loop so that you can see how they did. And I'll test another version real quick. And I'll switch to that version and add that replay. So as you add those tests, it sort of just creates a grid of replays, and you can, vibe code a new change, and these auto update to the latest version of your app every time. So you don't have to keep retesting the same things over and over.
Okay, first of all, this is amazing. Second of all, congratulations on building something really, really awesome using Bolt. I'm assuming this was 100% with Bolt, which is crazy because just Bolt just gotten so much better over time, and it's just clear that you can just build amazing, amazing things. So I'm curious to know, what was your process like when building this in Bolt? Like, did you start with a product resource document, or did you just like iteratively talk to Bolt to figure out like what needed to happen? Like, what was your process like for this?
Yeah, so I knew that it was going to be a pretty complex project with a lot of moving parts. And so I actually started by creating multiple different projects, basically one Bolt project per feature. So I built the website as one project. I built the initial test recording as one project. I actually built two projects for this part, the replay portion and this UI element of like the video timeline, and the snipping was really complicated. So that was another project. And then I built this grid of replays as another project with the like logic for auto updating it per code version. And after I had each of those individual pieces working, I combined them into one Bolt project at the end. Because as the project gets really large, it's hard for the AI to do a great job with it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That makes total sense. And that's a really actually unique way to build projects, is to split them out and work on feature or feature by feature and then combine them. So how did you actually combine them? Did you actually like copy and paste each of the code into like one unique project?
Yeah, so I first set up like a starter project with just UI components and like the structure. So I was cloning that as the starting point across them to keep the architecture continuous so that it would be easy to combine them at the end. And then I built them each separately and I copy pasted the relevant files back into one root project and then prompted Bolt to do the like detailed integration.
I see. I see. Wow. I mean, again, I am commending you on this. It's really, really awesome. And I think it shows the power of Bolt. So for those who are watching and people say, oh, Bolt can't do this, like, look at this. This is crazy. So this is awesome. So how has your experience been with the hackathon so far? Like, I know you're doing multiple projects. So you built this, and then you said you built the one prompt project as well. So I'm curious to know, like, are you just building all different projects for all the different opportunities, or are you sticking to kind of what you know best?
Yeah, so for at least the first 2 weeks, I focused entirely on Vibe Test, and it was a really huge project. So I worked really hard on it, and then I launched it, and I spent a bunch of time on sort of the hustling to get users. So I found sort of 100 people and tested it and got their feedback, and I've been iterating it over time. But I also started working on sort of the one prompt challenge, and that was helpful because I needed something to use as like a test case for my main app too.
Right.
And I haven't actually had a chance to try the other challenges yet, but I'm excited to try those as well.
Yeah, there's a lot coming up. We'll talk more about what, other opportunities that are coming up, but this is really, really cool. Where can people find you to, follow your journey, support you, if you want to just shout that out?
Yeah, so I'm very active on X. I try to build in public and post every day. My handle is Eve_Silb, EVE_SILB. So be sure to follow me there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Eve. I think a lot of people found value in your particular process and just sharing what you've built. Thank you for sharing, because I think a lot of people get some ideas in different ways that they can construct their workflows, just like you have done. So yeah, thanks so much for sharing. And yeah, people go follow Eve on X. And we're going to bring our next guest.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And if anyone ever needs help, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help with your projects too.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Eve.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to bring on our next guest, Teresa. She's going to be showing us her project as well. Hi, Teresa.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. It looks sunny where you are. Where are you calling in from?
San Francisco.
Oh, nice, 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 nice. Very pretty. Awesome. So, can you just tell us a little bit about yourself? Do you have a dev background? Do you just like vibe coding? What's going on?
Right. My name is Teresa. I'm someone who's worked for years in social impact in a mix of nonprofits and politics. And I recently got into vibe coding, actually. I'm very non-technical, but I moved to San Francisco trying to build another startup. I'm trying to build a social impact job site called Remotely Good. And I love going to Luma events. I don't know if you ever heard of Luma, but it's just a great way to learn about different tech resources, and it's been helping me to expand what I'm working on. And on the side, I got really passionate about vibe coding, some passion projects, and I'm really happy to share what I built for the Bolt Hackathon.
Nice, awesome. I think a lot of people have, if people are not necessarily a developer, you could still learn all these things. And just like you're saying, like there's so many resources out there that will help you vibe code. So yeah, that's awesome. Cool. So what is your project? I would love to know about it.
Yes, so I built Ellis, which is a voice AI agent that is essentially like a AI social worker or caseworker that's available to listen and connect you with resources 24/7. There's 3 different ways that you can speak with Ellis. You can call Ellis over the phone. I've assigned it a phone number at 475-243-0824. You can message Ellis, and you can also speak to Ellis through a web interface. So some really cool features that I was really trying to hone to make sure that this could be as great of use to people who are really in need as possible is that it is available for 24/7. You can talk to it like a person, have a normal conversation. It's trained in active listening, judgment-free, talking about problems. It could even do things like help you with deep breathing if you're in distress. But its main objective is sharing public benefits and nonprofit resources that can help anyone in need. That could be people who are homeless. That could be people who are just trying to make ends meet. It could even be different use cases. I met Mallory and Eric at a recent vibe coding meetup in a room full of designers. And I've had a couple of people approach me about Ellis and say like, hey, I'm trying to shop for insurance plans. And I feel like Ellis would be a good tool to like talk about health insurance. Someone else was an immigrant and was trying to get documents ready to, apply for citizenship. And that seemed like a really good use case as well.
Yeah. What's interesting between the three of you, between Eric, Eve, and yourself, you all have talked to people.
Yes.
And I think that is so important to highlight, just because a lot of people build, but they don't necessarily talk to people in the quote unquote field who
Exactly.
may need your product, or figure out like what is actually useful or beneficial for people. I think that's really important to highlight. So
Yes.
shout out to all of you guys for doing that.
Absolutely.
Go ahead.
Earlier, I heard you talking about building in public. I think that's really important. Before I had this published on Bolts, I tried building this for previous hackathons. And so just by networking and talking about my previous attempts at building, it's just that it never came together in time for using other tools. Bolt made this very easy. That's what I love Bolt for. But just networking, I was able to connect with people affiliated with the Stanford Housing Equity Project. I spoke briefly with someone at Project Homeless Connect in the city, who once I have the site launched and ready to deploy, you can see on the landing page, I'm hoping to soon launch a pilot phase in the San Francisco Bay Area. So just building in public and speaking about the project has led to so many people providing resources.
Yeah, that's so important. Don't be afraid to share what you are learning or building, because it's going to open up so many doors. I tell people that all the time. It's so important. And you know what I love also about your project is you took something that you're passionate about, which is social, and then built an app around what you are passionate about. And Bolt allows for that to be possible. So
Yes.
for anyone who has passions, you could take your passions and turn that into products or ideas using Bolt. Can you just give us a quick demo of like how this works?
Oh, sure. So I think the most straightforward demo is to have us speak with Ellis. So I'm still working on building out the back end. I partnered with a coder. Her name's Sunny Jin. She's going to be my teammate to help us to build a like native chat interface on through Bolt. But for now, I have a placeholder embedded demo link through Vappy. So
Nice.
we're just going to go ahead and start chatting.
Thank you for calling Ellis, your AI resource assistant. I'm AI, but you can talk to me about anything, even just have a conversation. But I'm here to tell you about free or low-cost resources and social services near you, and tell me what you're going through.
Hi, I'm hungry and I really need a meal.
I'm sorry to hear that you're going through this. Let's see what we can do to help. Could you please tell me your city so I can find local resources for you? There are often food banks or meal programs that can provide immediate assistance.
Yes, I'm in San Francisco.
Thank you for letting me know. In San Francisco, you can reach out to the San Francisco Marion Food Bank, which offers groceries and meals at various locations. Glide Memorial Church is another option, providing free meals daily. St. Anthony's Dining Room also serves meals regularly. Are you able to reach any of these places, or would you like more information on any of them?
No, that's perfect. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. I'm really glad I could help. Did this solve your problem for now, or are you still struggling with hunger or anything else related to food? I want to make sure you're okay before we move on.
That's great. Thank you. I'm all set.
Okay. I'm logging that as a solved issue for you. Hunger, meal access, San Francisco. San Francisco Marin Food Bank.
Alrighty. So
That's awesome.
Thank you.
So you used Vappy. How was that experience connecting it with Bolt? I'm curious.
Yeah, that was maybe the hardest part of the build. I had been struggling with that with other platforms that I used for vibe coding before I switched to Bolt during the hackathon, and having access to the pro benefits is really helpful. The girl I'm working with, Sunny, found it really straightforward to build a draft version of the backend to build a chat interface. We're just going to meet up soon to actually deploy it on the site. But yeah, I mean, I was exploring a few of the sponsored tools. I had just originally had like a draft of the project built for other hackathons with VAPI, but I'm willing to look into 11 Labs, Tavis, and see whether that would be a better fit for the voice agent. But I'm just really happy with what's built so far.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. And the fact that, again, you didn't have developer experience, but you were able to find the resources, partner with people, that's also important, and
Yes.
figure it out. Like that's the thing. Like you figured it out. So congratulations. This is really cool.
Thank you.
How did Ellis have access? Like how does Ellis know what to say to the person who's talking?
Right. Before I had Ellis ready, I was assuming that I was going to have to build up a knowledge base, do a lot of research on nonprofit resources at the national and state and local level in order to make a really robust product. But I was really surprised as soon as I linked the LL model that we used, which was GPT-4o. Apparently, ChatGPT knows a ton about nonprofit resources and social services, so it gives very nuanced, like answers for people's like very niche problems. I was so shocked by what it was able to build just by employing that model.
Nice, nice, nice. So it's a pretty seamless process to implement something like that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And then what would you use for just so I'm curious, and I'm sure other people are curious as well, what would you use for the calling? So like if I were to call
Mhm.
Ellis, how would that work? The same way
Um,
or?
Yeah, so VAPI was able to, provide a mix of phone numbers. If I wanted to have more sophisticated features, which we're in talks of building as well, you would have to use outside tools. Like I don't know if you're familiar with Twilio, in order to do things. I would love if Alice could send text follow-ups, email follow-ups to users, just to give summaries of phone calls and summaries of resources that were shared.
Nice. Yeah, that makes a total sense. Are there any other projects that you're working on? Or is it just Ellis?
Oh no, so my main startup, if do you mind if I toss to it?
Sure.
Okay. So I'm actually building a social impact job site called Remotely Good, where you can find jobs across nonprofits, social enterprises, and politics that are remote and hybrid. It's live now. I originally launched it as a Substack newsletter years ago. As a non-technical person, I thought I was going to have to pay someone to build the website, but thanks to vibe coding, I was able to get very far in terms of building a job site. And I was very new to like the whole world of vibe coding. I originally built on Lovable. Me and a technical co-founder I just recruited were, shopping around for different options. And I love both so much that like we are thinking of making the transition soon.
Nice, nice. Thank you so much for sharing. Where can people follow you and follow your journey?
I'm on LinkedIn. You can follow me at Teresa-Anoje, or just search my name. You can also find me on Twitter, Instagram, and I'm not super active on threads, but you can find me at remotely_good. And you can also look us up on Facebook and LinkedIn as well.
Awesome. Thank you so much. It's been awesome. This has been amazing. You guys are building some really cool stuff. So keep going. And I think it's going to be a big win for you if you
Thank
do.
you.
So yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Can I put one more plug? There's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
donation link. I just added it just because using the VAPI phone agent does cost, they charge per minute for calls. There are some free credits that start off, and 11 Labs through the hackathon also provided some free credits. But in order to keep the project going, I'm in the starting stages of getting funding. So if anyone is interested in the project, you can visit us on Ellis, and you can donate at this link. I can paste it into the chat, or we can share it after the broadcast if you like.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Much
Mhm.
appreciated. I think they just posted it. So
Yes.
yeah, awesome. Cool. Well, thank you so much for sharing. I
Mhm.
really, really appreciate it. And we're going to move on to talking about this week's events and prizes. Let's go. So thank you so much between Eric, Eve, and Teresa. It's been really awesome just to see what's possible and building those projects on Bolt and just seeing how far you can take Bolt is really impressive. Like I said, but before we head out and before we end this stream, I want to talk about this week's events and what's to come. So This week we have the one-shot competition. So the best project built with only a single prompt, so one prompt, fixing errors. Beyond that prompt is permitted, but you just have to use one prompt. And editing functionality, features, or UI beyond that prompt is not eligible. So you have to literally use one prompt. If it has errors, you can fix the errors, but you can't like add on to the prompt itself. And 25 winners are going to win $1,000 each. So this is the one you want to enter because it's pretty simple, but it's a lot of opportunity for those to win $1,000 each. 25 winners are going to be able to win that. So again, one-shot competition, the best project built with only a single prompt is allowed. Fixing errors is okay, but you can't just add on to the project. It has to be using one prompt. 25 winners are going to win $1,000 each. All right. And just to remind everyone on some of the criteria for these competitions, which you can find at world's largest hackathon.devpost.com. So world's largest hackathon.devpost.com. You can find more about the judging criteria, but just some of the things you have to keep a lookout for when you are doing these projects or entering the competition. So how big of a potential impact could that project have is one of the key components that the judges are going to be looking for. So how meaningful is the problem that the project is tackling, and how well does it solve and deliver value? Really, really important. Also, how will this project resonate to the masses, or how viral might this project become? So you want to think about that when you are entering some of these competitions, because the judges are judging based off some of these things. The quality of the idea matters as well. So how creative and unique is the project? How much of this project is likely to already exist in some capacity? Is this problem that this project is tackling, is it already been solved by other people or other offerings in a similar way? So thinking about that as well when you're entering. And then the technological implementation. So does this project demonstrate quality software development? Are you thinking about things? Are you mapping things out beforehand and planning? Does the project leverage Bolt.new, obviously, offering an interesting or an advanced way? How well thought out is the infrastructure and execution of the code? This is really, really important. If you want your projects to do well, you want to think about these things beforehand by mapping it out, thinking about it deeply about what your project is actually solving and what value does that project actually deliver is going to be important for you to actually have a chance at winning some of these awesome, awesome prizes. And then lastly, design and user experience. Is the user experience and design of the project well thought out? Is there a balanced blend of front end and back end in the software? So again, if you're not a developer, it's okay, but you do want to take the time to start thinking about some of these things and using AI, ChatGPT, Bolt, obviously discussion mode to figure out, okay, what do I actually need, and what is this project going to look like, or how's this project going to function? What features is this project going to have? So just thinking critically about these different things will give you a better shot at winning some of these awesome, awesome prizes. So that's just some of the criteria to keep in mind when you are entering your project into the Bolt Hackathon. So for next week, I don't know if you guys are ready for next week, but we got tons of surprises and wild stuff planned to finish the hackathon stronger than we even started the hackathon. It's been a wild ride, obviously, with over 100,000 people entering, like I mentioned earlier, pretty crazy. But we got some really awesome things happening. So for next week, if you want to view these live streams, you can obviously join live, but if you want to see a list, you can go to rvr.to/Bolt. All right, that's going to give you all the different events, live streams, the in real life IRL events, but also the live stream events. You can go to that link to actually see what's happening here. So Monday, June 23rd, we're going to be debugging and monitoring basics for builders, and that's going to be with Sentry. We're going to be talking about how you can debug and why that even matters, monitoring, why that matters, how to test appropriately. So that's going to be on Monday, June 23rd. And then Tuesday, June 24th, we're going to do what we call Make It Shine. So tips to polish your user's interface. So again, one of the judging criteria is design and user experience. So we're going to be talking about that to make sure that you have a better shot at obviously winning some of these prizes. And it does make sense to have a polished user experience and a polished application, right? So we're going to be talking about some of the things you can look out for, especially for those who are not necessarily developers or have experience with building apps or software. Also on Tuesday, we're going to be doing, Tuesday, June 24th, we're going to be doing 0 to live in seconds. So we're going to be, Netlify is going to be joining us for a builder session. And then Wednesday, June 25th, we're going to be doing user experience one-on-one, where we're going to help users figure out how you can have users love your project. So user experience is so important, and it really comes down to a few things that we're going to discuss on this live stream. So you want to make sure you join that, because if your users don't have a good experience, your app is kind of worthless. So we want to make sure that the user experience that you're giving your potential customers or prospects, leads, whatever, is a good one, so that they come back and they want to use it. They want to be an advocate for your product. And we're going to, again, share some tips with you on how you can do that. And then we'll finish off the week on Friday, June 27th, with building a mobile app with Expo. You saw earlier in the earlier session of this live stream, we had Eric kind of showcase his app, which was built on Expo. We're going to do some building there with Expo. So you guys, whoever want to build a mobile app, you guys can see that process and what that looks like. So definitely want to join that one if you are into mobile apps. So that is it for the next week. We're going to have some really awesome things. Again, we're going to have more prizes, obviously. So make sure that you show up and really take the time to think about what you're building, and you could be featured on this live stream, right? If you are building something cool. So that's it from the Hackathon News Network. Thanks for tuning in. And remember, you're not building alone. This is an awesome community. As you saw today, there is plenty of people who have reached out to other people in the community, found potential partners and potential co-founders that they are building projects alongside. So you're not alone. Make sure that you are interacting with the community on X, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, because you can find people who want to support you and build alongside with. I think the most important thing with any community is finding people who are where you are, so that you can grow together. So you can find those people in the community. You're not building alone. So make sure you are being active. And last but not least, if you have not registered for the hackathon, you can do so by going to hackathon.dev. Okay, so hackathon.dev. We're gonna put the link up in a second. You can join and join some of the competitions that we have going for the next few days. And then also make sure you join the Discord and submit your project if you haven't done so already. There's still time to do so, and still opportunity for you to win some really cool prizes. So make sure that you are submitting your projects by the deadlines that have been posted. So that is it for this session. Thank you guys so much for joining. It's been a pleasure to kind of just see what you guys are building and also host this. So thank you both for the opportunity as well. And yeah, that's it for this one. And we'll see you guys next time. We'll see you on Monday. Make sure you join the session on Monday. I'm going to make another appearance there. So if you want to see, me again, make sure you join. But that's it for today. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.